Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Hello. Right, let me just make sure that everything is set up on my end. How is everybody feeling? I myself, I'm not going to lie, I've had the most rubbish day ever. Like, there's been a few tears shed. There's been a few, it's just been one of those days where everything, like, had a lovely birthday. Yes, yesterday, the day before. Then, like, I just come back and it was just like, oh. So I've had the most rubbish day. So I thought, hey, you know what, let's just go on the live, let's just talk, let's just kind of let's just commiserate together. If you're in a bad mood like me, but if you're not in a bad mood, this is going to be an incredibly hands up who's in a rubbish mood. Commiserate together. Hi Sarah, hi Jenny, hi Laura, hi Rebecca, hi Devia. I'm so rubbish. If I've said that right, let me know. Tell me how to like pronounce it. Hi Ria, hi Steph, hi everyone. Glad I made it back in time. Just come back from a morning at the office, beach, love that. Collecting sea glass. Oh, that's so cool. Feeling totally blur. Felicity, me too. Love your hair. Thank you. It's one of those heatless curler things. Actually, you can probably tell by the top of my head being incredibly flat, so you have to pin it to the top, but then it has like these two tubey things, and it comes down. You like wrap your hair around. My hair never holds a curl, and I mean never. Not even two hairdressers on my wedding day could get to hold a curl. These things are like a $5 from Amazon, Primark, and it's great. Bit of manic managed me too. Oh, I know, it's just been horrendous. I don't mean to start on a Debbie Downer, but you guys would have been able to tell if I was like, hello everyone, welcome. It's just been a bit like it's all been things that are not my fault either, which is I think makes it all the more annoying, because you're like, oh, I thought I checked everything. And I guess for me as well, like, because I have ADHD, I beat myself up a lot. So it's like every time something is not checked or something happens, it's like it's just rubbish, and I feel like I'm to blame, but sometimes I'm not, and sometimes I'm like, no, my ADHD was not to blame here. Happy belated birthday. Thank you. Hope your afternoon turns it all around. Me too. I've got my fountain going. I've got my cup of tea and the most disgusting mug. I'm almost embarrassed to show you, but this is my disgusting mug. Yes. He says, oh no, Paul, your hair's fab there. Thank you. Good hair always turns it around. Chrissy says, love your hair. Thank you. It's been a bit mental. The kids at my school have been all over the place. Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it? I don't know why. Sometimes I feel like everyone goes through that moment, don't they? Nice to meet you. Hello. Awesome, Devia. Thank you for like reassuring me I pronounced that right. Ria says, I watched Joy last week after your recommendation, and as inspiring as she is, blimey, her family were awful. I know. I that was the first thing I was like, I think I would have just like done like a major peace out with that family. I feel like it just sounds awful. I love it though when I think it's in like the latter end when her design gets stolen, and like from what I can remember, all the legal people were like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, and she's like, nope, and she just goes down there, goes in the warehouse, and she's like, right, this is mine. Love that. I just think it is an inspiring watch, but you got to watch it when you're in a good mood. So today I really wanted to talk about how to bump things if sales are slow. Okay. What I would say is that the first thing I would say is that the sellathon is going to be really, really helpful for this. So if you are watching on Instagram, if you comment the word sellathon, I will send it directly to your inbox, thanks to the wonders of many chat. If you're watching on the Facebook group, again, this is something that I should have prepared ahead of time, because I'm manually typing the link with these bright yellow nails, which I do enjoy. Sellathon sprint, there we go. So that should be the correct link. So if you join through that link, it will take you directly there. I hope I've put dots and not commas. Yes, I have. So the sellathon, I would say, is basically all about beating the summer slump, because if you've noticed, we have had the warmest, driest, mildest May, I think, on record, especially for like where I'm based. And I don't think it's any what's the word? I think it's probably the reason why a lot of people have seen their views drop, their sales drop, everything drop. It's kind of correlating to the summer slump that we get when the warmer weather hits. And I'm kind of thinking, yeah, I really feel that for May. I feel like May, like the summer has just shifted forward a month, or back a month forward towards us a month, right? And I do really feel like it's definitely one of those things that we're all feeling right now. So the sellathon is 100% going to be the thing that, and it's more than just like a little tip on a live that I'm going to be giving you. It's more like a complete course, and it's completely free. By the way, if you can hear a mower, the council have just decided to mow the grass bank about 5 meters away from my window. So, you know, it's just going to be one of them lives today, I think. I'm like, yeah, anyone else? Do we want like an eagle to come down and like try and pull my hair out? What else do we want to go wrong today? Oh my God. Ria says, I have ADHD too. It can be a struggle when the frustrations come out, sending love. Oh, thank you, my lovely. Yeah, it's you're very quick to blame yourself, because I think in like at school, it was always, yeah, she's really clever, but she makes a lot of really stupid mistakes. And that has stuck with me for, well, life, really. And it just goes to show how a flippant comment made, and it was probably made with the best intentions in the world, but just that flippant comment made can stay with a person for a long, long time. Same here up in Scotland. Yeah, precisely. So it's just been incredibly dry, incredibly just warm. And I think everyone's been kind of going, well, the summer's here, lads. So what I thought I would do today, oh, also my birthday sale ends tonight at 8 p.m. Let me grab the links. Those I did prepare. Yay. So if you're watching on Instagram, you can grab those in the link in bio. I've just popped the link in the Facebook group. So if you want to get those, basically we have 50% off shop critiques, which is where one of my team literally trawls through your shop with a fine tooth comb over like recorded video, so that you can watch it over and over and over again. It's not a face-to-face thing. We record it, send it on to you. You have that for life. That's half price. And also we do half price on the planner as well, but only until 8 p.m. tonight, because that's when my birthday sale is done. So today, like I said, I really want to go over a few things with really honing in on, okay, things are slow. How are we going to bump that up? Okay. So I want to kind of go on to 3 different things. So section 1 is 3 easy tweaks to get things moving this week, because I feel like that's what we all need. We don't all have endless amounts of time to sit there and like through our shop. How to create momentum fast without discounting, because I'm seeing that a lot of people, their immediate go-to at the moment is, I need to discount stuff. I need to reduce my prices. You don't necessarily need to do that. Okay. And the third section is what to check in your shop when things are feeling a wee bit off. Okay. You know what I mean? Where sometimes you look at your shop and you're like, it's just not coming across how it's coming across in my head. You know what I mean? Where you're like, yeah, my banner looks like this and my products look like that, but it's just not really coming across. Something's not connecting with my intentions versus what's actually being shown on the screen. So that's the 3 bitty bops that we're going to be doing today. Just got my new business cards with my new logo, etc. Oh, fancy. Check you out. My last Etsy deposit was for 15p. I know you get those emails, and I just love the way that it's like, congratulations, and you're like, yeah, okay, sure. All right, so let's get into section 1, which is 3 easy tweaks to get things moving. Now I do have notes, because I used to do these lives without notes, and I noticed that although the tangents are great, a lot of people were like, yeah, I just want you to answer the question. So I've got bullet points. From now on, I'm like, bullet point yourself, Steph. Okay. So the first thing is, I know it sounds incredibly boring, but it's incredibly important. And that is review your product titles and tags. Now, side note, because there's always someone on these lives who are like, I didn't know that. Please do not change things that are already working for you. It's between 60 to 90 days. It used to be 30 to 90 days, but in my experience, it's more like 60 to 90 days for the algorithm to see how your listing is going to play out in front of different viewers, in front of different people. Okay. And it's how it plays out, which is how it determines where it needs to sit in the search results. Okay. So obviously page one is different for every single person, but your listing does have ranking. Okay, you can't see it, but it is kind of there. Etsy have recently, like I think yesterday, released the Q score. I'm going to be doing a whole section in, I think it is next week's podcast episode, where we really dive into what's going on Etsy right now, what are their Q1 results, all that kind of thing. Let me the 28th, so not this Wednesday coming, but the Wednesday afterwards, we're going to be really digging into that. I'm going to be really like breaking down what that Q score is and all that kind of stuff. It's just like another little change. So to review your product titles and tags, are they buyer friendly? Are they searchable? That's another thing I do get a lot of people who will use very like words that someone who makes what you make would only know. So things like hammered finish bangle. Well, someone average Joe might not know what a hammered finish bangle is. They might go, oh, you know, the pitted bangle or the dotted bangle or something like that. So make sure they are buyer friendly and they are searchable. I find that people's language and what they type in changes depending on what their search intention is. And we talk all about this in the HBSA course, and you kind of know what I mean when I say search intention. So if you're looking for a birthday present, your words that you're typing in might be slightly different. So let's go back to that hammered bangle example, right? You might be, if you have a birthday gift search intent, you might type in something like hammered bangle June birthday, or hammered bangle gift wrapped, or hammered bangle birthday gift, or whatever, right? If you're searching for yourself, you might be having a slightly different search intent. So that could be things like hammered bangle small, hammered bangle large, hammered bangle gold, hammered bangle purple, whatever, okay? So you need to make sure that you're running checks through each words and words and phrases that you are using, okay? Does that make sense? You always go quiet. You always go quiet when you're like concentrating. So I just need you to give me a thumbs up. A lot of people seem to be using Chat GPT finding good tags. No, I wouldn't recommend doing that. Reason being is that Chat GPT. Now, I think I spoke about Chat GPT on my last live, but the problem with it is that it's only regurgitating information that it finds online. Okay, it's basically a slightly more advanced connect the dots version of Google. You wouldn't go to Google and type in, what tag should I use for a hammered bangle? You just wouldn't, because you know that it would come up with some random gumph that has nothing to do with your target audience, what you're searching for, all that kind of stuff. Now, it's really tempting to use Chat GPT a lot, okay? And I understand the temptation. But please believe me, where I have unfollowed about 10 to 15 small businesses, and some of them may be here now, where they just sound the same. Content, products, their emails, what their essence of their brand is, all seems to be copy and paste, copy and paste. The reason is because they're using AI. So I understand what you're saying about, okay, yeah, using Chat GPT is a really good idea. I don't know if it really is, if I'm being completely honest with you. They don't have access to the Etsy API. eRank, Marmalade, Allura does. So that's the first thing, is that you need Etsy API to be able to access the Etsy information and kind of get the inside scoop. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that it's just regurgitated information. So what it will do is that if you're typing in, can I get some keyword ideas for this tumbler, right? This like water bottle thing, okay? It will search blogs, it will search Instagram posts, it will just search different content that people have put out there. It will gather and scoop all of that up and it will say, oh, these are the tags that we think that you should use. Now, all it is it's just taking that information from content put out online. And that wouldn't be where you would find your keyword ideas in the first place, right? You would actually research it on the platform itself using the Etsy API or Etsy itself. I hope that makes sense. But I do feel really strongly about handmade business owners. And I think the main reason why I feel so strongly about it, and I really want to do a podcast episode on it, but I feel like I've been yapping on the podcast for a long time. We've got like so many episodes in now. But with handmade business owners, what I'm finding with normal businesses like, I don't know, service-based or drop shipping, or I don't know, think of any other business apart from a handmade. The problem with that I'm seeing is that all of a sudden, everyone is sounding the same. And it's like, okay, they're being more consistent, but something ain't right here. Something's not really feeling, great here. And I'm worried that handmade businesses are going to be lumbered in with that. And because handmade businesses themselves, like, you have a very human side to it. You have to, because you make your products with your hands. So because you have that human side to it, that's what's being lost if you're using AI for a lot of stuff. And, there's a lot of handmade businesses out there anyway. You don't want to then have to compete with the same sounding businesses across the globe. Am I making sense? So that is something where I feel really strongly about. And the thing with AI is it's so tempting to rely on it. And I think the big danger, to wrap all this up, the big danger with that is that you stop thinking for yourself and you rely on AI to think for you. The problem with that, as I have found, is that it will tell you what you want to hear. And that is something that you can try yourself. You can try saying, what do you think of beige mugs? Are they really good? Are they? And then it will spit out an answer. And then a couple of turns later, you'll give that answer back and it'll go, oh, that's really not a good idea. And you'll be like, but that's the answer you told me. And it'll be like, oh, well, it tells you what you want to hear. A podcast episode would be great. Yeah, I mean, I'm always a bit worried about putting it out there because I know that it's going to be very polarizing. And I think a lot of people are going to use AI and be like, oh no. And that's fine. But there is a side of me that's like, I don't know. I'm feeling like there's a correlation between a lot of people losing followers, not getting as many comments on their posts. Like, a lot of people are like DMing me saying, oh, social media is hard right now. And I go onto their thing and I'm like, that's because AI made that. And if I can see it, your people can see it too. Oh, this blooming fly keeps coming in. Can you not, mate? Please. You're kind of annoying. And that's sometimes quite sad to see. Anyway, I told you I got off on a bleeding tangent, didn't I? So that's the first thing, titles and tags. The second thing is refresh 1 to 2 listings. Now, I would prefer you to refresh listings that haven't really got a lot of traction. Like I said, you don't want to keep changing things because of that 60 to 90 day clock. So just refresh a couple of listings. Like, I know that you're probably looking at your entire shop. You might have 20 products, 50 products, 80 products, thinking, oh my God, I have to go through and do everything here. But you do not, okay? Just pick 1 to 2 that you created and you thought, yeah, these are going to do really, really well. And then they didn't, and you were sort of left feeling a bit like, okay, I'm not sure why. Something's not connecting here. Then I want you to post. Now, this is if you're on Instagram. Then I want you to post a reel. That's it. I want you to post a reel. Ideas could be something like a fast-paced, like sped up time-lapse version of a behind the scenes. It could be you creating something. It could be you tidying up your workspace. It could be you working like over your shoulder type thing. Just a fast-paced reel. And that's all I want you to do this week is just post one. Okay. Just do, I don't know, a packing on order with me, just something, just post one reel. That's it. That's all you need to do. So that's the first like section, 3 easy tweaks, easy little things that you can literally do this week. The second thing is how to create that sales momentum without discounting things. So the first thing is that you could use things like urgency. So what I like to do is when I'm feeling like something that used to sell is not really doing so hot anymore, I will reduce the quantity down to like 1. So then what happens is that when Etsy, especially buyers, land on that listing page, it will come up with a big pop-up banner saying only one left. Just doing that little tweak, reducing the quantity down, even though you might have 5, but just put 1 in there. It's a bit cheeky, but then you could argue, okay, if you've got 1 sat in a shop somewhere, you've got 1 that you're doing in a craft fair next week, you've got 1 on Etsy. You don't want to sell too many too fast, okay? So that's like the first thing. Also, sending a low pressure friendly DM, again, if you're on Instagram, to someone who has previously bought from you, and just say, hey, like, how are you getting on with your product? And don't cold DM them, but all you're doing is reaching out and saying, hey, thank you so much for ordering this XYZ thing. My dog is about to fall in the fountain. Phoebe, don't fall in the fountain. She's looking at me like, and what? What are you going to do about it, Mum? Oh my God. Don't be like, here's this new thing I've got, you're going to go and buy it. But just open up the conversation. Just say, hey, like, how are you getting on? And then hopefully they will come back to you and say, oh yeah, it's really good. Now I'm doing this and this, and be like, amazing. Like, that sounds awesome. I also have this new thing coming out next week. Do you want me to hit you up when it's out? Or I have a limited edition version of what you ordered coming out next month. Do you want me to let you know? Like, just basically, it's just a low pressure way of reaching out to people. Brilliant. Makes sense. Right, I will go back through in a second and answer the question, because I'm really aware I want to get through all of this, because I keep going off on tangents. I love a good tangent, but people who are here just for the like live title content might be a bit like, okay. So the third thing is, I want you on any of your content, your social media, whatever that may be. It doesn't have to be a reel. It can be a carousel. It can be a story, whatever you're doing this week. And I hope you're doing something this week. If not, the SMS is really where you want to be. I want you to make sure that for the next 3 pieces of content, or posts or emails or reels or stories or whatever you're doing, just choose 3. And on those 3, I want you to put a very, very strong call to action, like unmissable, bold call to action. And that can be something like buy here, or click to get the link, or I don't know, DM me for custom order information, or whatever. Okay, so make sure it's a really strong call to action. Okay, now let's sip my water. So that's like the second section. So those are things that I would do to build momentum fast. And I know probably a couple of you are like, Steph, like those 3 things sound incredibly time consuming, but how much time are you already spending on the likes of ChatGPT, or doom scrolling already, or I don't know, doing something else that might not be connecting you with your target audience? Doing these 3 things absolutely will. Okay. So the third section is what to check if your shop is feeling a wee bit off. Again, if in your head your shop should be looking or feeling a certain way, it's just not coming across that way. Okay. So are your best products, your best sellers, front and center in your shop? Did you know that, especially on Etsy, obviously on your own website, but on Etsy, you can sort your listings via a custom view. So you can physically click and drag what gets shown first when people land on your shop. Okay, so do that. Make sure that your best sellers are at the very top of that list. And if you've got Etsy Plus, you have a nice additional layout where you can have like categories and all that kind of stuff shown. Just make sure that those things are at the top of everyone's list. Okay. Now, make sure as well if your shop does have a clear purpose and vibe. This is the second and last thing, but make sure that your shop does have a clear vibe and purpose. Don't have a jumbled mess, aka don't have hand cream, mugs, crystals, jewelry all in one shop. It looks odd, it looks jumbled. And I think a question that I would ask myself is, if someone was to scroll through my shop for 7 seconds, because that's the average attention span, would it be incredibly clear what I specialize in and what I sell? If the answer is not really, then that's where you've got to change a few things up, like move your shop around, move how things are shown. Right, so I hope that makes sense. Does that work? The digital downloads, what work? It's a little while ago, so I'm not sure what I said when you put that. It's also very energy hungry. Yes. 2 seconds. Right, let me just grab that. I feel like my bit rate just dropped. I just want to make sure that I'm still live. Oh no, I am still live. Okay, good. Don't know what happened there. Yes, it is very energy hungry. Can you see, like, I have this reflection on my face right now. That bright light is reflecting off of my bedroom window, because I've opened the top window and it's reflecting off of that very top window. So I'm just going to lift up my screen a wee bit and hoping that I can like duck underneath it. God, look how bright that is. I look like I'm on stage in like a spotlight. I'm about to go, like, literally, I don't even know. Is it true that I need to have a minimum number of listings on Etsy before I start to get traction? No, there is no number that you have to hit. Lots of people will say it's 80, it's 50, it's 100. So there's no set number that you have to hit. I feel like I need to put my sunglasses on. But it is true that the more listings you have, the more chance you are at being shown to different people, especially if those different people, my God, that light is bright. I'm just gonna have to put that up a little bit, especially if those different people, you're using different keywords for those different listings, if that makes sense, because you're spreading your net wider. I just updated most of my listings the other week. That's great. You can tick that one off. I used ChatGPT when I was setting up my shop, but now seeing the views coming in, but no orders. So many views / favorites on my blue tiger eye towers, but no orders, which is frustrating. So going through all of them again and making sure I sound more human. Naomi, I'm going to challenge you. Don't use ChatGPT at all. Choose 10 and get ChatGPT to do it and get you to do it, make a copy and see which sells the best. And I bet your bottom dollar, you will find that the human sounding one will get more views and will get more sales. Just challenge yourself, because I do really feel like sometimes we lean on ChatGPT so much. And I'm just wondering, like, as you, the maker, your creations are literally coming from your head. They're coming from your hands. So why would you outsource the marketing of that and the listing of that? It's still got to come from you and your head and your hands, you know? Etsy Plus, what's that? So Etsy Plus is basically like Etsy's, it's kind of hard to describe really. It's an upgraded thing. I think it's $10 a month, I want to say, or $8 a month. And it's basically a way for you to upgrade a little bit. So it's like a way of giving your shop a glow up. So it enables you to have, in fact, maybe I'll just Etsy Plus. Maybe if I just find the link. What is Etsy Plus? There you go. It just might be a little bit easier. So what I'll do is I will reply to your comment. I'll put the link to it and then you can have a little look. It's kind of like a very hidden thing. Not a lot of people really know about it. Only like the OGs really kind of know about it. But it's basically a way you get 15 credits for renewing or creating listings. You get $5 Etsy ads credit, which isn't really a lot, but it's still a thing that you get. You get a bunch of other stuff as well that you might be interested in, but those are like the main two. It is $10 a month. So if you get $5 at Etsy ads credit and 15 listing renewal credits, which equates to $3, basically you get $8 worth of stuff for $10. So to be honest with you, it's worth doing, because you I think the thing that makes it worth doing to me is that you get a scrollable banner, you get categories in your shop, you can arrange it differently. It's lovely. Reducing the number of products. Sorry, I don't know what you mean. Can you let me know what it was in relation to? Reducing the number of products. Oh, what, like in the same shop? So if you've got multiple different things, yeah, it does, because you've got to like specialize in one thing. So let's say you sell kids party downloadables. If you then have stuff that's like downloadable art, fitness planners, and then kids party stuff, people are going to be a bit like, oh, okay, well, it's just kind of making something and throwing it out there. Whereas if you just purely are like dinosaur party packs, unicorn party packs, pink party packs, people know, okay, she gets it. Does that make sense? I assume that's what you meant. Just recently launched my own website, which is exciting but overwhelming when it comes to SEO and getting used to Shopify layouts and listing process instead of Etsy. Ria, are you in the HBSA? Because we do have a your own website bit in there as well, where we teach you exactly how to do SEO. Now, one thing I will say is that I've had a lot of people this past week put posts up in the group saying, I want to set up my own website because I want to get sales like off of Etsy. And I'm like, it's a lot harder. Like you have something like, I think it's 29, no, I can't even remember what it is now. I think it's 30 million handmade shops that have their own website, but only 7 million shops on Etsy. So it's kind of like immediately your competitors, if you like, have like what, quadrupled, 7, 14, 21, 28. Yeah, quadrupled. Also the SEO is something that is a lot more complicated. It does take a lot more time too, because you have like domain authority, you want to have backlinks, you want to have all this kind of stuff. And it can be very, very tricky. Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes, I know what you mean. Did you worth reducing the? Yeah. So I would currently I set it to 50. So the thing will only trigger, I think, if you've got 3 or 2 or less. So if you're gonna do it, you might as well put like one or two rather than 20, because I don't think that little Duba flip would trigger. So you said about to make people panic and think you only have one left to reduce quantities. Is the one best number to use, or would it be 3 or? Oh, I think I've just answered that. I think it's 2 or 3 or less. But to be honest with you, they change that all the time because they like to test whether people react to only 3 left or 2 left or whatever. I think the only way for you guys to see it would be to go onto a listing and just find one where this banner thing will pop up. It won't pop up straight away. You'll have to like be on there for like 5 seconds or so, and then it will come up. You might have seen it before. All right, and my lovelies. Right, so side note, again, the birthday sale ends at 8 p.m. tonight. If you are watching on Facebook, I'm going to pop the links in for you here. If you're watching on Instagram, if you go to the link in bio. Also, the sellathon challenge. If you comment the word sellathon, if you're watching on Instagram, if you are watching on Facebook, if you go to handmadebosses.com/, I'm just grabbing the link, sellathon sprint, you can sign up to it there. We actually get started on the 9th of June, so in 3 weeks time, so it's not a long time to wait. June is really fast approaching and it's quite scary. Thank you so much for joining me in this little live that I did. I was going to say randomly. I don't do it randomly. I do it every single Monday, apart from next week, because there is a bank holiday in the UK. Another one, I know. So thank you so much for joining me for this one, and I will see you not next Monday but the Monday afterwards. And thank you so much for joining me. Bye everyone.